Matthew 12:2. Hoi de Pharisaioi, idontes, epon auto, idu, hoi mathetaisou, poi usen, ha uk existen poiein in sabbato. Remember, right before this, Jesus and his disciples are walking through the grain fields on the Sabbath. The disciples are hungry, and so they begin to pluck the ears of grain and to eat them. We read, and the Pharisees, when they saw, and this is an adverbial participle, it's building on the second aorist root of harao, right? Harao is I see, harao. Adon is I saw, and if we take off the augment, let's take off the augment, take off the ending, we're left with the stem id. And with the stem id, we add present participle endings. Second aorist participles use present participle endings. So what we have here is a second aorist active participle, nominative masculine plural, describing the activity of the nominative masculine plural Pharisees. We're translating it temporally, but obviously there's a little bit of a causal sense there too. So, and the Pharisees, when they saw, right, it's because they saw this, when they saw this, implied this, when they saw this, they said, second aorist of lego, they said to him, to Jesus, behold, your disciples, and notice how we have the pattern we mentioned recently, where you have, if you have a noun and then you have a genitive possessive pronoun, that noun will almost always have the article. The Pharisees here saying to Jesus, behold, your disciples are doing that which is not lawful. Oh, and this is a verb just asking, just waiting to be completed with a complementary infinitive. There it finishes out the idea, which is not lawful to do on the Sabbath. Real quickly, I'll mention that Olmsted, in his very helpful Baylor Handbook on the Greek text, notes that Matthew will interchange the singular and plural forms of Sabbath, going back and forth between them without apparently any difference in meaning. If you look back in the previous verse, we're talking about the Sabbath day, a plural form was used, but here a singular form is used. One final thing. Some grammarians prefer to do this infinitive as the subject of this impersonal verb rather than as a complementary infinitive. I see it goes about halfway. About half of them will think of this as the subject, and half of them will take it as a complementary infinitive. But for most English readers as they're translating, I think it whether it's technically correct or not, it makes sense to most English readers to translate it and think of it as a complementary infinitive.